Are you listening?
Hey, this is Charles Calhoun, aka the Shade Tree Pro, back here to give you a little bit of more information. Um, you know, kind of like in life, sometimes we need a new groove. We need a new fresh start. We need to get a better understanding. So I'm gonna do something here. I was gonna be selfish and keep this to myself, but you know what, man? You know, the world needs to work. I ain't nothing but an old country boy from West Virginia, and a good day's work ain't never hurt me. And matter of fact, I like seeing it. I like the work. I like putting in work. I enjoy it. But we're getting so confused and so bombarded with information. It's just and we keep hearing a lot. Well, the pros do this and blah 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 and this and that. But one day I was on the range and I heard this guy. He was taking a golf lesson, and I thought this was one of the best things I've ever heard. And the guy said to his teacher, he said, I don't really care what the pros do. I want you to teach me what I can do. And I just thought that, what, that's absolute, because a lot of times, and I'm no different. I've done it myself. But we know, okay, yeah, they're the best players in the world, but they got teachers themselves trying to figure out how to do it themselves. And most of us teaching, we're not doing it at the tour players level, so it's just, it's different. Although, I mean, ball striking a ball is striking a ball. That's just kind of how it goes. But I think it's more we get too complicated with things, how we do things. So I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna start with something very very simple that we do, and we're gonna change the way we do it, and we're gonna start looking at golf in a different way. And that number one thing is ball position. Like I said, there's two absolute fundamentals in the game of golf. And there really are no other, but these two are absolute. All this other stuff about fundamentals, somebody can do it a different way, and then that debunks the whole theory about that being a fundamental. The number one fundamental is that our hands must hold on to this golf club, because number one, this the game we're playing, we're swinging the golf club. And number two, this club face must strike that ball towards an objective. Now, those two things must absolutely happen in to play the game of golf, and those are the only absolute fundamentals. Even standing on the ground is not an absolute, because I can lift this foot up and still hit a golf ball. So that takes away from that being an absolute fundamental. There's people playing with one leg, so you don't have to have two legs on the ground to hit a golf ball. But you must hold on to a golf club, and that club face must strike that golf ball. Always, in a sense, to be able to play the game of golf. That's how it goes. But what we're going to do here, we're going to go with ball position. The most magical thing in golf is ball position. And I know it's always been taught. Many people play the ball off the left side, off your left heel. Well, in essence, the ball is up there because we want the ball up in front. There's no question about that. Then, you bring it back however. But let's look at it a different way. Because a lot of times when we see the most amateurs, they're playing the ball up here off their left heel. They can't get their body right. And how many times you've seen this? And then all of a sudden you get them like this. And then it's compensations with the grips and this just to try to get the club face square. I mean, we see it all the time. Whatever it is, back here, trying to get themselves set up properly for the golf ball. Now, I'm not going to talk much about my setup. I got videos out there that talk about my setup, how I've been from the first rib, push down on the first rib by creating dorsiflexion in my toes and bending over the acetabules over the femoral heads. I already talked about that. But, again, ball position. This is how I play ball position. Let's say, for an example, that here's my right foot. And the golf club is an extension of the inside of my right foot, or my right foot. When I play ball position, if this ball right there now is right off of my right foot, I actually visualize of playing the ball away from my right foot. Now, you see that. The ball is towards my right foot, the ball is away from my right foot. I'm not thinking about it being over towards the left or anything. I'm thinking about it being away from my right foot. Now, why is that important? Here's why it's important. Because, just like in any other good sport, baseball, and you want to be behind the ball. So the best way to get behind the ball is to start behind the ball. So when I set up to this golf ball, if I play it away from my right foot, both physically, mentally, I'm behind the golf ball. Now, if I'm behind the golf ball from the start, now when I make a swing, I'm always coming to the ball. Now, what happens when you physically and mentally think of the ball being played off of the left side, what happens is the left side freezes. So now when you're coming up here, now you're turning, you're doing all of these different things that's really unnecessary. But I mean, you can do it, you can get away with it, but you're making it harder on yourself because you gotta do a lot of different things to try to, number one, get through the ball as well as stay behind the ball. And that's just two things that keep contradicting one another. When I play the golf ball away from my right foot, away from the right foot, when I play it, just like if this ball was here and that ball was there, I would play it away. See how I'm rolling it away from my right foot? So I play it away from my right foot. So when I play it away from my right foot, now I open up all this area that I can just swing. And that's what it is. It's called a golf swing. Now, I don't even have to even worry much about turning because I can just swing my arms because I got all the room in the world. Why? Because right off of the bat, I'm behind the ball. So I don't have to do anything, no manipulation to get behind the ball. And if I'm behind the ball, then it makes it a lot easier for me to go through the ball. And even more so, as I said, when we think about it playing off the left side, I told you that the left side freezes. Well, what happens is by playing it off the right side, it gets the right side, and I don't want to say exactly freezes, but it kind of locks it in to where now you got action up here on the left side where you can just keep going. And as I said, I found a lot of success with that. And another part of that is, and we always talk about the bottom of the arc of the golf swing. Now, there's truth to the fact that the bottom of the arc of the golf swing is the center of the body, the sternum, the spine, and all that. I do agree with that. I just have, by understanding a better ball position, I have a better understanding that I'm not trying to strike the golf ball on this side of my sternum. Because you remember, the left hand is going through first. And when I go across my sternum, the left hand strikes over on this side of the ball, as we call the money side of the ball. So when I go to hit this ball, I'm actually, because I want the left to get back, because remember, if the left crosses over here, then it's out of position, and it's got to get back over here across the left side of the spine. And that's where, where you hear, maintaining your lag and all that. All it really is getting the left hand back over across past the sternum so it can get back into its position. So now when I sit there, golf ball played away from my right foot. Now when I get over, and there's my center, I'm actually trying to make my center go back. I'm not trying to make it go forward. I'm trying to make it go back so I can swing through. Now eventually, like I say, it's going to come around, but we're trying to resist, because when that center keeps going, then if we don't hold that, if that center goes, this club is wanting to bottom out. It wants to find the bottom. So we have to hold this to try to get it to where we can strike the ball. Well, I'm trying to make it easier because a lot of amateurs, they don't have that flexibility to do that. And plus, I'm not one, as I said before, it's a golf swing, not a golf turn. So if I make sure that ball is I play it, like I said, away from my right foot, but I strike it on the left side. And it allows me to swing the golf club. That's what we're doing. We're making a golf swing, not a golf turn, a golf swing. Setting it up, once again, ball played away, ball position away from my right foot. That keeps my head, my body, everything, both physically and mentally behind the golf ball. Make a swing and strike. I hope this helps you out. Once again, get an opportunity, subscribe to my channel. I told you I got a lot of good stuff coming out. I made some training aids, that I'm coming out with that's going to be very, very interesting. And I think you'll like it. Once again, this is Charles Calhoun, aka the Shade Tree Pro. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and always good golfing.